Hey there, my name is Mark Goldberg and I'm a dog trainer. And right now we're on my little dog farm. If you want to check me out for dog training, you can look me up at www.chicagodogtrainer.com. But today I want to talk to you about watches. I have two real extreme passions in my life, and one of them is dogs and the other is watches. But rather than talking about watches right now, I want to talk about two little aspects of the sort of like the collecting bug briefly. And one is the watch community and the other is OCD, because I think there is a very lively, exceptionally helpful watch community, number one. And number two, I think we're basically enabling one another. In reality, what we probably should be doing is forming an OCD support group, or maybe that's what we have. There is an extremely lively community on Facebook. I'm a member and an admin of a really wonderful group called MDWE, Modern Day Watch Enthusiasts. That was started by a fellow named Dennis Van Patten. I'm laughing. Dennis, you know why I love you, but you are a nutball. This guy has more knowledge really in his pinky finger than most of us will ever amass on a lifetime, and he specializes in vintage watches. So super knowledgeable guy. Dennis, you're an oddball, but you know what? I think geniuses really always are. If you met Albert Einstein, he probably would have been, probably pretty strange duck. And Dennis is a genius. And then there's all these other people who run the gamut, from Andy Hunter to Archie Luxury to people that I'm not crazy about. I won't mention their name. And Simon Crane. There are a lot of people involved here. And like many other forms of passionate collecting and knowledge collection, what you find in this community is half of us love each other and half of us hate each other. I sort of try to stay in the middle ground, which is to say I don't have a whole lot of enemies. I'm really interested in knowledge, and the more I can learn, the better. In terms of 0, you know nothing, and you think your Invicta is deliciously collectible, all the way up through 10, which I think is a Dennis Van Patten level collector. I'm like a 4.5, but a year ago I was a 2. So I've picked up an extreme amount of knowledge fairly quickly. So thank you for the YouTube community and the Facebook communities especially. And if you'd like to join us on Facebook, just look for MDWE, which is Modern Day Watch Enthusiasts. But I also am a member of the Andy Hunter Watch Forum, and I love it. I think Andy is another guy who brings a community together where we can discuss and learn about watches. So, OCD, I have it, and so do you, or you wouldn't be watching this video. The question is it disruptive to your life? And in my case, I know. I don't wash my hands. I do twirl my hair, but I'm not a hand washer. I can step on a crack, it's not a problem. But I become hyper-focused on things. And this is actually, I think, really can be beneficial to you in your business life. In my case, I got super hyper-focused on dogs, dog behavior, and dog training. And I had my 10,000 hours of practice in to become an expert before I was 15 years of age in terms of dogs. But I came to watches later in life. And so I feel like in some senses I'm making up for lost time, so I want to read everything I can. If I had back every hour I spent on Facebook and YouTube learning about watches, I probably could live to be 117 years old. So I'm going to talk a whole lot more in an upcoming video about the topic of OCD and watch collecting, because it really can either be a positive or a negative, depending on how you cope with your affliction. There's another guy on YouTube, just forgive me, McMahon. Mr. McMahon, I don't remember your first name, but you should look up his channel. He talks a lot about the affliction of watch collecting, and he's so correct. There is a certain delicious agony that comes along with watch collecting, because you have to rotate through watches. And if you get a handle on your OCD, then the worst of it is it might annoy you when your bezel is, your dive bezel is 1 click past 12. Then that's okay, because you're gonna keep all your watches completely set to the correct time. Your bezels will be all lined up. Your watch case will be clean and orderly. And at its best, you will really pay a lot of attention to learning and collecting the stuff that most appeals to you. That's at its best. And I like to think that's me now. But I have to say, if you take me back in time, only a few short months ago, I was rotating through watches like crazy. And when I say that, I still do, but it's not as painful as it was. I probably rotate through, maybe I wear 2 watches a day now. So I'll wear one in the morning and one in the afternoon, or maybe when I'm working with dogs, I'll wear one that I think is kind of tough. And maybe in the afternoon, I'll wear something maybe a little dressier. Right now, I'm wearing the Tudor Pelagos Blue. Really love this. Really love this watch, and I have a watch review up on it now, as you know. Anyway, yeah, OCD. It need not control your day. It used to. Mine. I used to rotate through watches hourly, every other hour. I might wear 4 or 5 watches in a single day. And worse yet, I might agonize over what I was going to wear and when. And that is much better now, so we'll expand on this in a future video. That's it for now.